Welcome in, fight fans. Sean O'Connell, Kenny Florian beside the PFL Smart Cage for the second of 3 straight weeks of PFL semifinal playoff action. Kenny, your first PFL playoff experience just a week ago. Did you like it?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. The action definitely delivered. I expect more of the same this weekend.
Women's lightweights and men's heavyweights. That's what's coming at you in our semifinals. The pursuit of a championship either stays alive or ends for these final 4 fighters. Bruno Capilozza, Jamel Jones in the 1 versus 4 matchup. A couple of finishers there. And Dennis Goltsov, Ante Dalia, both of these guys 6'5" massive heavyweights in that Russia versus Croatia matchup. Take a look at our women's lightweight bracket. Kayla Harrison, Jenna Fabian in the main event coming up on Thursday night. And bad news if you're in the Larissa Pacheco camp, she missed weight. That means Taylor Gardado will take on the alternate, the number 5 seed, Mariana Moraes, as the number 1 seed. Larissa Pacheco falls off. Kenny, unfortunate development there, but we still have playoff fights coming up.
Yeah, that's right. You know, still, I expect a lot of action in those fights. Unfortunate news about Pacheco. She missed out on a huge opportunity. She was looking phenomenal at this point, but Moraes is going to be ready to go.
Let's talk about the main event, though. Kayla Harrison, Jenna Fabian. It's that classic matchup of grappler and the 2-time Olympic judo gold medalist Kayla Harrison versus striker, the 6-foot-tall Jenna Fabian, who is a former Muay Thai world champion. This is what MMA was built on.
Absolutely. You have your classic matchup, and of course you have world-class talent and the world-class pedigree in both disciplines. Jenna Fabian for the Muay Thai, and of course Kayla Harrison being the 2-time Olympic champion. And there she is right there, and she has just been mauling people left and right. You know, when you're talking about Kayla, you got to talk about her takedown game. Her ability to get to the clinch and her comfort level in doing that now is at a whole different level this season as well because of her comfort level with her striking. She's setting up her takedowns and her clinch so well. She knows how to cut off the cage, and of course when she gets you on the mat, whether it's with grounded pound or submissions, she's there to finish the job.
Kayla Harrison, she's got the talent, she's got the technique, and of course she's got the physicality. She's an absolute monster.
Right.
But she has not fought a woman with the same kind of physical profile that Jenna Fabian brings in. Fabian much taller, longer, and an elite striker. This is a new puzzle for Kayla Harrison to solve.
No question about it. And for Jenna, not only does she have the world-class talent, she has those skills on the feet. She comes from one of the best camps in the world over in New Zealand, City Kickboxing, and they have built quite the blueprint for world-class strikers to go out there and utilize their footwork and distance management to get the job done. So she's 6 feet tall, she's a world champion in Muay Thai, and not only that, you know, Kayla has the ability to beat people mentally before they get in there. This is not the case with Jenna Fabian. Everything we are hearing from her, she sounds fantastic, she sounds relaxed, she is not intimidated by Kayla, and she feels she has the game plan and skills to get it done.
Jenna Fabian in the fighter meetings told us about how grueling her camp was. They put her through it down at City Kickboxing to prepare her for a matchup like this coming up in the main event. The winner of that will move on to face either Taylor Gardado or Mariana Moraes, who steps in as the alternate. Gardado, 2-0 so far in her PFL career. Someone who's jumped in relative unknown, Kenny, but made good so far.
I think she's been the surprise of the season. The way that she's gone out there, she has shown a high level of intelligence in her execution and how she's winning her fight. So I've been very impressed thus far.
So that's the women's lightweight bracket. The men's heavyweight bracket promises a lot of excitement, and I don't have to go any further for excitement than Bruno Capilozza versus Jamel Jones, 2 monster finishers. Bruno Capilozza has spent a grand total of 3 minutes inside of the smart cage because he's getting it done in the first round, Kenny.
When I think of this fight, I think of violence, and Capilozza has delivered the most violent finishes that we've seen so far. You see his ability to close that gap, and if he gets you up against the cage, Get out, circle, jump out of the cage. Whatever you got to do to not get hit with that flurry, you got to do it, because Capilozza, once he gets your back up against the cage, he will finish you, and he has devastating speed and devastating power. And look, it almost looks like a repeat of that first fight. The way he got him up against the cage, you see the delayed effect there from Darius, and he's out of it, and he finishes you off with another violent finish. Capilozza has been amazing this season.
Well, we talked about how Gardado kind of surprised everyone jumping onto the scene. Jamel Jones falls into the same category. This is a two-time national champion in junior college wrestling. He's got an impressive background in mixed martial arts, but we hadn't seen it. Well, he came in the second half of the regular season. He had one opportunity to earn a playoff spot. He needed a first-round finish to make that happen. What did he do? He went out and delivered a first-round finish.
Man, has he taken advantage of that opportunity, and he feels he is primed to take this whole thing. You know, I don't think there was another fighter that got me so excited to watch him fight more than Jamel Jones. You know, he plays the part. He sounds like a guy who is ready to become a world champion here in the PFL. He comes from a wrestling background, but he's not afraid to trade on the feet either. His ground and pound, as you saw right there, is as good as anybody in the world. It's amazing.
So the winner of Capilozza versus Jamel Jones will be rewarded with a trip to the championship, and they'll face either Denis Goltsov or Ante Delia. Both of those guys formidable, but Kenny, you and I believe that Denis Goltsov is a top three heavyweight in the world.
There's no question about it. You look at the way that he moves and all the skills that he possesses on the feet, on the ground. He's good everywhere. He moves like a middleweight. He is so talented. Watch out for Goltsov.
Playoff fights coming up on ESPN and ESPN Plus. We're going to simulcast that show. On ESPN Plus, we also have these showcase bouts beginning at 5:30 Eastern. Hanon Fajera versus Stewart Austin. That's a fight that was supposed to happen as part of our PFL regular season. Stewart Austin had visa issues. Hanon Fajera, remember him, 6'8", freak athlete, crazy knockout power. That promises to be a clash of two extremely talented titans. And then, of course, the main card here. 4 playoff bouts. Kayla Harrison, Jenna Fabian in a main event. And goodness gracious, the finishing power of Capilozza, Jamel Jones, Taylor Gardado, Mariana Moraes, Denis Goltsov, Ante Delia, an elite matchup between two massive human beings. And the odds keep moving in Kayla Harrison's favor. She is the biggest betting favorite on the card, no doubt. Playoff action, women's lightweights, men's heavyweights, huge main event featuring a 2-time Olympic judo gold medalist and a Muay Thai world champion. You can't ask for more than that, Kenny, Florian. We will see you there, 5:30 on ESPN Plus, 9 o'clock on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Incredible playoff action continues here in the Professional Fighters League.